I wasn't peaking for this show, for a guest
Right.
posing. When people were like, "Oh my god,"
What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with the physique update of Florian Poirson, whose journey back into the men's open bodybuilding is looking very exciting, I have to say. So looking at this recent picture and how he is blowing up, it is pretty clear that his body was craving all that extra food that he was restricting for over 2 years during his time as a classic physique competitor. For those of you guys who do not know, he made his men's open bodybuilding debut back in 2019. And he made this announcement of switching to classic physique back in 2022. So one can only imagine what more he could have achieved if he did not drop down to classic physique. Because throughout these 2 years in classic physique, I have to say he wasn't able to achieve that much. Now, when he made this announcement back in 2022, most of the fans called it out right there and then, that we do respect his decision, but this is probably not gonna work out. And eventually he might switch back to the men's open class, because that is where he belongs. The kind of physique that he has, that belongs on an open bodybuilding stage. I mean, even the physique that he presented back in 2019, when he made his debut in the men's open bodybuilding, that was so damn good. And in fact, he was unable to present a physique in classic physique as impressive as that one in the men's open. And we have seen it multiple times now. Switching from the men's open bodybuilding to classic physique, that almost never works. We saw the same trend with Regan Grimes as well. I mean, what did he really accomplish by switching to classic back in 2018? Maybe if he would have stayed in the men's open and continued to put on more size, and had he utilized all that time more effectively to put on more muscle, more mass, maybe he wouldn't have had to take 2 years off in the last 2 years. Yes, this is the second year he is taking off in the last 3 years. So coming back to Florian, his coach at that time, who was Patrick Tuor, back in 2019, he said that he was one of the most promising men's open bodybuilding talent that came up during that time span. But the good thing is he's back to where he belongs. And I don't think he's gonna rush this process, and rightfully so. Although I do believe he's gonna blow right back up in very little time because of a thing we call muscle memory. He isn't building up any new muscle. He's just getting back to the size that he already had. So what are your expectations from Florian whenever he decides to step on stage in the men's open class, keeping in mind how great he looked as a men's open competitor back in 2019?
I literally drove 5-6 hours that same day.
Yep.
Got on stage 2 hours later, full of food and water. Like, I wasn't peaking for this show, for a guest
Right.
posing.
So Nick Walker's recent guest posing appearance at the Pittsburgh Pro, that is still a trending topic on every major bodybuilding media outlet. And it is safe to say that it's gonna continue to be that way until Nick Walker finally steps on the New York Pro stage in about 4 days from now. If I'm not mistaken, the prejudging of that show is on Saturday. So, Nick Walker himself appeared on the recent Muscle and Fitness live video, which was on their YouTube channel, to basically clear all the air on what happened and where he is at right now, just a few days out of the show. And Jay Cutler also defended Nick Walker, and it was only water that he was holding. And when it's time to step on the stage for the New York Pro, he is gonna be on like anything. He is gonna be an altogether different bodybuilder when he steps on the New York Pro stage.
That's not my my winning show is this weekend. So when people are like, "Oh my god," I'm like, dude.
And as for Nick himself, he's already down 7 pounds since that guest posing last weekend. Now, I do think that the expectations set by us fans, they were a bit too much, especially for the guest posing.
And we're already right now from Saturday till now, we're already down 7 pounds.
Everyone thought that Nick Walker is gonna be just a week out of the show, and he is gonna be in his trademark conditioning. And he's probably gonna expose everyone, including the reigning Mr. Olympia Derek Hadi at this guest posing at the Pittsburgh Pro. And the reason was pretty obvious, that all of these other guys are gonna be in the off-season condition, while Nick on the other hand is gonna be in a contest-ready shape. Even Derek in one of his videos before the Pittsburgh Pro pointed this out, that his conditioning is definitely not gonna be the best on the stage, considering some of the big names are gonna be just a week out of the show. And obviously he was referring to Nick Walker here, because Nick is considered a potential Mr. Olympia title contender. So when Nick says he is gonna win the New York Pro, and he is gonna actually dominate that lineup, he has earned the right to say that, because he has been top 3 in the world. He is an Arnold Classic champion. And even here in this live video, Nick was of the opinion that he would have beaten both Hadi Chopin and Derek Lansford at the Olympia last year. And he was gonna be the one crowned Mr. Olympia.
Hadi, Derek. And my
To answer
position
your
on the
question,
podcast.
yes, I would have won. I
happens
say
here.
that with no disrespect toward Hadi or Derek. Hadi looked insane. And
Mhm.
I'm sure we can all agree if Hadi brought the package to the Olympia that he did at the Arnold, my man would have won.
Now, as much as I agree with Nick Walker on his neo-pro stance, I don't think he can beat either Hadi Choopan or Derek Lansford. In my opinion, he first has to worry about Samson Dauda. And even beating Samson, that isn't gonna be easy. The only way that happens that he is able to beat all these guys is if they actually leave the door open and Nick comes in at his all-time best. So will that happen this year? Will Hadi or Derek leave the door open for anyone? As of right now, we cannot say. But this Olympia is certainly gonna be really exciting. Now, whether you like Nick Walker or not, you have to agree, he certainly brings a lot of excitement to the sport.
I would have gave them the hardest battle of their entire life. That
Well,
I am fully sure
I
of.
think
So this comparison of Andrew Jacked, made by Who is the Best Bodybuilder Instagram page, that is the answer to everyone who said that Andrew did not make any improvements during this offseason. That is far from the truth. So with Samson Dauda being completely off everything for this guy's posing, Andrew Jacked along with Hunter Labrada, they were really the standout guys here at the Pittsburgh Pro. Andrew was easily the biggest guy on that stage. And it really amazes me when people say that height does not play a role in bodybuilding. And yes, I know it is harder to put on muscle on a bigger frame. It takes more time. But once that is done, that is really hard to ignore. So height does play a major role in bodybuilding, the same way it does in every other sport out there. All these Mr. Olympia winners, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Lee Haney, Dorian Yates, Ronnie Coleman, Jay Cutler, Greg Romy, even Phil Heath, they were all tall guys. Even Phil Heath was almost 5'8". So with Andrew's frame totally filled out, the eyes are gonna be drawn towards him automatically. I mean, they already do. And that is why I believe all these guys, Samson Dauda, Andrew Jacked, and possibly Quinton Beastwood as well, they might end up ruling the bodybuilding world in the future. But keep in mind that comes with a big if. Even when it comes to Andrew Jacked, we do not know at this point how much of that muscle will he be able to hold on when he diets down, when he drops the water. So as of right now, the show he is gonna prep for is Texas Pro 2024. So that makes him roughly 15 weeks out of the show. So it has been now confirmed multiple times that Andrew isn't doing Dubai Pro, which is scheduled to be held in July. And that will serve as a great opportunity for some of these other guys, not only just to win $100,000, but also the Olympia qualification as well. So that is a big paycheck, by the way, and that can be grabbed by Behrouz Tabani, Nathan Diesha, or Moh Foda. So Andrew making this announcement so early, that will make many of these competitors jump into that show. Because all the names that I have just mentioned, they cannot beat that Texas 2023 version of Andrew Jacked. So he has one of the best aesthetics in bodybuilding as of right now. I mean, there is a reason he's called the Mona Lisa of bodybuilding. And this is gonna be a bigger and most likely a much better version of him. Because this was the first time he took a proper off-season since he turned pro back in 2022. So his body is gonna be completely fresh and ready to fire all the cylinders for this prep. So I am really excited to see Moh Foda do multiple shows this year. Because we haven't seen this guy compete more than 2 times in the last 3 or 4 years. And I really believe that that is a great men's open bodybuilding talent that is gonna shock a lot of people in the future. Because this guy isn't really missing anything. Yes, he is a short bodybuilder, but his physique is very pleasing to the eyes. And he is very complete front to back, top to bottom. So back in 2021, when he made his debut in the men's open, he was actually small, especially for the standards of the men's open class. But his last show, which was Romania Pro 2023, that was extremely impressive. So him and his coach Hani Wembord had to rush the process for Romania Pro. And they still did a very good job for that show. So many, including myself, had Moh Foda higher than 5th spot at that show. But it is what it is. So this prep he started back in April. So he has got plenty of time if Dubai Pro is on his plan. So if he gets ready on time, he should 100% do Dubai Pro. Because he is another one of those athletes who we have seen facing a lot of problems getting visas for different regions of the world. And that is one of the major reasons why we only got to see him twice in the last 3 or 4 years. So Hani Wembord speaks very highly of him. And Hani has trained some legends of the sport, some of the greatest of all time. So do let me know what you guys think. Will Foda be able to qualify for the Olympia this year? And if he does qualify, how high he can place at the Olympia level? So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video. And smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.